Welcome to the Magnet Pool, where we dive into Miami-Dade's most innovative and exciting magnet programs that truly make Miami-Dade County Public Schools your best choice for education. I'm your host, Dr. Magda Castro Pereira, Administrative Director in the Office of School Choice and Parental Options. And today, we are going to dig deep into the heart of Hammocks Middle School. And joining us today, we have Lois Seaman, a veteran teacher and our Magnet Apple coding teacher. And she's here to give us a closer look of how Hammocks Middle School is really preparing our students to be creators, not just consumers of technology. So welcome, Lois. Thank you so much for joining me today in this amazing conversation. I'm super happy to have you here because your wealth of knowledge alongside your expertise in Hammocks Middle Schools and magnet programming is really going to bring light, right, to our parents and our listeners and our viewers about what is happening inside, right? What is the heart of innovation? And I know Hammocks has a lot of innovation happening alongside. So tell us, and let's zoom out first. Tell us a little bit about Hammocks Middle School and what makes it stand out to parents when selecting schools.
Well, Hammocks Middle School is a very nice middle neighborhood school located in Hammocks, of course, in West Kendall. And we have so many programs going on right now that it really is unbelievable how far we've gone. Even in the 6 years that I've been there, we're just so blossoming. We've always had the law magnet, which has drawn students in and partners with FIU, and the students get their career knowledge and base by studying the law. In addition, we have a magnificent art program, award-winning all the time. We have a brand new band teacher who's been really bringing music to the forefront. And of course, the cherry on the cake, so to speak, is icing on the cake.
Or the cherry. Either
way.
Or.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's still sweet, yeah.
Is that 6 years ago, we became a Verizon Innovative Learning School. And in that time, that guarantees that every student who comes to our school has a one-to-one iPad for the term of being at our school. So they get to use those for 3 years. This was something that was really fantastic when that COVID time came because the students just automatically and naturally pivoted right home and everything as if nothing had changed except the location. Born out of that was the Verizon Innovative Learning Lab. And that is a $250,000 lab with 3D printing, VR, AR, robotics, just anything you could want technologically speaking, we have it. Last year, we became an Apple coding magnet. Yes, that Apple. And so we have had a wonderful opportunity to leverage students not only in technology, but technological careers as they grow up and see that there really is nothing that is not a technology career anymore.
Right. And they're so in tune with technology. Everybody has an iPhone.
That is true.
Or a phone, a technology phone, a tablet, right?
Yes.
And let me ask you a question. You said that every student at Hammocks, because of the Verizon, has a one-to-one tablet.
Yes,
an iPad. Do they still have that?
Yes.
Wow. So not only do they have their phones, but they also have their iPads.
Yes. Well, they have their phones, but we don't use the phones too much educationally. We do use the iPads and in the Apple Magnet as they start to increase. We're in our year 2 now, so we have level 2 students who are doing more complicated things. They're using MacBooks.
Wow.
So we really do have a lot of equipment and material for them to cover, and they're enjoying it.
Wow. That's, I'm sure, right? Because magnet programming, it's about aligning these programs to the students' passions and interests, right? Yes. And talents, right? And are your students at Hammocks, especially those in the Apple coding, right, magnet, have that passion for technology, right? So talk to us a little bit about what does that curriculum look like at the newest magnet that you have, which is Apple coding?
Well, let me say something first, and this is something I tell all the parents. Children don't have to know anything about technology to be in the Apple coding magnet.
Wow.
They just need to be interested because we are in a 3-year program. We're using the coding program that comes through Apple, and the first year is entirely foundational.
Oh, okay.
And
Great.
we are not only coding, we're using coding in real world situations, because if students were coding all the time, it starts to wear on them. It's difficult. And so we start to talk about careers. We go on field trips, for example. We make sure that our field trips include technology. So last year we went to Epcot, and at Epcot we took a technology tour. So we got a behind the scenes tour of technology. The students just loved it. This year we're at Universal. We had how to code Kong Island and the Control program. The students loved doing that. It happened to be on iPads that they lent us that day. We were VIPs. We got an escort into Skull Island and rode the ride. So they're getting to see that there are real world applications. Our hope is in building a pipeline to Felix Varela, which is going to be opening up its Swift Apple coding magnet next year.
Correct.
So we are really wanting to align with them also. So
and I'm sorry to cut you off, Lois, because I want to stress to parents that in our office, when we develop and we create these new magnet programs, we do it purposefully and intentionally so that the students have a curricular pathway. Yes. Through to hone in and cultivate those skills and passions and talents that they have, right? And what better way? And Varela's right down the street from Hammocks, so the students that are graduating from Hammocks and transitioning to 9th grade can all apply to the same Apple coding program.
Yes,
right, at a different level, right, in the high school level, but at Felix Varela Senior High School.
Yes,
beginning August 2025.
And it's the only Apple magnet in the South for high school, as we are the only Apple magnet for the South in middle school. So this is going to be a wonderful partnership between those two schools.
Wow. I know. And your students do amazing. So I can only imagine how they're going to blossom when they go to Varela. Now, you talk about coding and digital creation. What are some of the things that your students are, right, in 8th grade? Because I know that it's a progressive curriculum, right? What are they developing? Are they developing apps or websites? What coding are they doing?
Well, it is not by grade.
Okay.
It is a level.
Okay.
The first year is level 1, no matter what grade it is. Second year, level 2, et cetera. So we are only on level 2 right now because it's our second year. But I will tell you that this group of students is doing so phenomenally. We start many days with an AP coding question about Java. And you might ask, what does Java have to do with Swift? Foundations are foundations. So the foundation of language in coding is very similar across the board. Everything has an array and variable, et cetera, et cetera. Those students are getting those answers right because they're learning how to think logically and critically. So they are able to reach for those stars. They are also creating prototype apps. So we had an app showcase last year in level 1, but it was paper-based because they were just learning. And we actually had one of our wonderful relationship schools, Miami-Dade College, there to be judging the apps, as well as people from our own school, our assistant principal, as well as our reading coach. And this year, those same students are kicking it up a notch. And they are going to be prototyping either using Figma, which is a prototyping site, or using Keynote, because we want to keep to those Apple apps as well.
Correct.
And then they'll have their app showcase with the current level 1 students who will be paper-based.
Wow.
So they're doing some phenomenal things. They've created games. We do some things off the grid as well, because as I said, sometimes when we code too much, they start to burn out a little bit. It is difficult. These are middle schoolers, and we want them to have fun too. So
I think what you said was very important, that you're teaching them critical thinking, right? Mm-hmm. Problem solving continuously. Yes. And I know we've said this many times during our magnet polls, but those are 21st century skills that are inevitable, and they're going to be present in college and career.
Yes.
Right. So we want to make sure that we lay those foundational skills, right, And
Yes.
in my opinion, beginning in elementary school, so that way they can transition to middle school, cultivate that, and then really hone into those skills when they get to high school, and then be college and career ready.
And speaking of college and career ready, of course, they need those digital skills, those critical thinking skills, those high order skills, but they're coupled with collaboration and response and evaluation. So all of those soft skills come into play too. So the students are gaining those as well.
And
So-
the soft skills of them being able to articulate their apps
Yes.
is evident of
Yes.
that they have not only mastered those skills, but are able to be able to articulate
Yes.
how they got that done, right? The app done or the web page done,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of like be mentors, right? To the first year students that are coming into your program. And the first year students who are doing paper-based can say, wow, look what they've done.
Well, here's something that we do as mentors. We were speaking prior to the show about Hour of Code. And one thing that we do in the level 2 and the level 1 is the students become the teachers, and they go to other schools, other classes around the school, and they actually teach the Hour of Code to other students.
Wow.
So that they're leveraging themselves as not only tech students in a magnet, but tech leaders in the school. And that takes on a whole new level of responsibility and articulation, as well as empathy and simple support. So they're getting many of those skills as well.
I love that. I love that because they're learning leadership skills as well.
Yes.
That's an amazing concept. I would love to be a visitor when they do that. Now, we know through magnet programming that, and even though Miami-Dade County Public Schools leads magnet programming nationwide, we know that, and we're blessed for that. But we can't do it without our community and our partners, right? They are the ones that truly sustain magnet programming. And obviously in your magnet program, Apple Coding, Apple is part of our partners. But we also have Miami-Dade College. Can you elaborate a little bit about Miami-Dade College partnerships or the relationships that you have with Miami-Dade College?
Last year, I received an email from Dr. Pedro Santos, who's the Director of Emerging Technology. And I would put it aside. I wasn't thinking much about it. It was a Swift magnet showcase, a Swift showcase, actually. I couldn't attend when they were. But then I decided one time, I'm going to contact this Dr. Pedro Santos and see what it's about.
What is it about? Yeah.
Well, have you ever spoken to someone and you just know that you have this incredible connection and you're going to be friends for life?
That's
Dr.
great.
Santos and I felt that way
Wow.
when we spoke on the phone. We invited him over to speak to the students about Miami-Dade College, and he began a Swift camp just for our students. So in the summertime, our students who are part of the magnet, including the incoming students, so fifth graders currently coming into the sixth grade, have also signed up for this summer.
Wow.
Entirely free. And it doesn't get much better than that.
Wow.
My students and I attended a Swift showcase recently. At night, we went over to the Kendall campus and listened about the apps and how they're created and the people who are presenting the apps. And so they're getting a picture of what college life looks like too, and what this can become. And
Right.
so I can't say enough about the engineering and technology program, about the Swift program, about Apple, and about Miami-Dade College, period.
And their facility is amazing.
It is amazing. They have an AI campus downtown. I mean, it really has grown. So this is a partnership that's really near and dear to our hearts, including Principal Correa.
Yes.
And it's just wonderful.
Such an advocate. Your principal is a huge advocate for the students. Let me talk to you a little bit about, well, let's clarify for our listeners and our viewers and our parents what Swift is, right? Because Swift is what Apple calls the curriculum that we're teaching, correct?
Swift is the name of the language.
Okay,
so there
perfect.
are so many languages.
So like Java,
C+,
Python.
Right.
Okay,
so
perfect.
these are all coding languages. It's
Great.
French, Spanish, English. They're all languages. They all have similar rules, but they have nuances that make them different. And so Swift is a coding language that has its differences. It's a little more streamlined, a little more direct than certain other languages. And this is what Apple and 600,000 businesses around the world use. And so they are getting insider information, so to speak,
Wow.
of how to do the basics of Swift. So in level 1, we're doing very foundational things. We're even this week, the students are creating Lego playgrounds where they have to write the code. They're not actually writing it in a computer, but they are writing it to be testing what they've learned this year, using the types of code they learned and writing it down to navigate those little Lego playgrounds. Next year, we'll be taking it up a little more difficultly, that they will be doing the same foundations, but the more complex foundations will go into prototyping apps. And then my goal is in third year, level 3, to be focusing all on apps.
Wow. Listen, your expertise is something that's truly amazing, and your students are gonna, I hope they're sponges, because they're taking all of your expertise and putting it into their little minds, which is really fascinating. And when you speak, you have that love for what you do, and it comes out. So I'm truly inspired by you. I know that your students at Hammocks are not just learning bell to bell. Like, their learning extends beyond the school day.
Yes.
Can you elaborate a little bit about what are they doing? Are they giving back to the community? Or if they have specific partnerships or in the communities, what are they doing to kind of like pass back what they're learning?
Well, in magnets, in both the law and the Apple magnets, there's a requirement for 20 hours of community service. But I will say I'm pretty proud of my students. They've gone beyond that. They come at night to do magnet fairs. They have come on days where we didn't have school to support teachers in technology.
Yeah.
So they've done a really wonderful job there. Always technology related in some way, but more importantly, it's always helping the school and the community to come in and see us.
Right.
Because when you come and see Hammocks, you realize what a wonderful, wonderful school it is. And that brings me to the parents. We were talking about our connection to Miami-Dade College. We have an amazing parent group. We have a Swift coding magnet parent group, and they come in about once every other month, and we have meetings about what's going on in the magnet, questions that they might have, maybe an upcoming field trip. We have a Zoom meeting with an astronaut in May, and so I like them to keep abreast. I'm a very transparent teacher, so emails all the time and pictures and social media, and so they have been incredibly supportive. As a matter of fact, this year we went on a field trip, as I said, to Universal Studios. 23 parents chaperoned that field trip.
Wow.
That is amazing support for a 2-year magnet program. And next year, and more wanted to.
Of course.
I didn't have room on the bus. So next year, we're going to figure it out. But they are just amazingly supportive.
And listen, just to piggyback on that, I know that our superintendent, Dr. Dotras, loves the parents to be involved, right? And we need to be very transparent with them. And what better way than to use technology with boundaries, right? Is by educating the parents on what the students are doing inside the classroom. And I think that that's really the success of the innovation at Hammocks, that it's really an open door to parents, and that we're all doing this together for the benefit of our students, right? And as technology evolves, we all have to continue learning, right? The new intricacies of technology, and making sure that our students are well prepared, right? For not only graduating from Hammocks and going off to high school, but then truly post-secondary and careers as well.
Yes.
Wow. It's really fascinating.
We already have 2 classes for next year, not just one, for great. Level 1s. And those parents who got to come into a wonderful acceptance ceremony, receiving certificates and meeting with law and with Apple Magnet, they have already started signing up for PTA, and they're incoming 6th grade, but they're current 5th grade parents. And so we know it's just going to keep getting better.
100%. I have no doubt, because Hammocks is an Apple Distinguished School.
Yes.
Yes. You earned that this year. So
did.
Congratulations
and
to
thank
you, your teachers, your principal, the leadership, and most of all, the students and the parents, because that is a community endeavor. And And you need to use that at every advantage just to tell those parents that we are Apple Distinguished, and it's a very high honor. So
yes,
congratulations.
And we are also a magnet demonstration school.
That's right.
So yes,
so other districts can come
amazing.
To you.
It is really
right, and see what Hammocks is doing.
We're a Verizon Innovative Showcase School as well. So we just have
many accolades.
As I said, it just keeps getting better.
Many accolades. So, Lois, we're almost at the end of our show. So we always ask this question, right? What is your magnet pull? What draws students and parents to Hammocks?
I think what draws students and parents to Hammocks is that we are a small school, and we do make sure that everybody is heard and seen, and we make sure that we take care of our students in every way, not just academically. We meet their needs, we meet them where they are, and we welcome everyone. And no matter ability or any other level, they're just always going to find a place to be themselves at Hammocks Middle School.
So very well said. Thank you, Lois, so much for joining me today. And thank you to all of our listeners and our viewers who joined us today. I also want to pay a special thank you to Miami Community News for allowing us this platform to share our stories with you. And also as a reminder, Hammocks Middle School is a magnet program which one has to apply to get into that program. And as Lois said today, a lot of it is interest-based. So I want to extend the invitation to really go into Miami-Dade webpage, Dade parents, log in to the parent portal, apply to Hammocks Middle School Magnet Program. We open up our applications for Magnet October 1st through January 15th. However, if you miss that deadline, we do have a second opportunity right now that's available for you, the Open Seats Magnet application. And you go to dadeschools.net through the parent portal, apply for Magnet, and click on the tile that says Open Seats Magnet application. And any program in over 121 of our schools and over 450 magnet programs, we have there. If there is availability, it's listed there for your choice. And parents can select up to 10 programs if they are available at that point. And that's it for this episode. Continue to be drawn to what inspires you, and we'll see you next time on the Magnet Pool.